Beyond the Podium, sponsored by Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center. Innovative cancer treatment close to home. Together, we're making cancer history.
The Olympics now are in full swing in Milano and Cortina and across the alpine sites of northern Italy. I'm Anne-Marie Tiernan and you're watching Beyond the Podium. Competition now in full swing. There are more than 200 athletes for Team USA and they are going for gold. And one of those athletes is figure skater Maxim Naumov, or Max. Max is competing with a heavy heart at these games. He lost both of his parents in a plane crash that happened in January of last year. A devastating tragedy, but Max did what most champions do. He picked himself up and he kept on going, all the way to Milan and the Olympics. As you can imagine, this has been devastating for the skating community globally, nationally, and specifically in Boston. Matt Renew from Denver joins us with that angle.
Specifically with the Boston Skating Club. This is one of the most traditional skating clubs in the country. It's been around for more than 100 years, but right now that tradition is all about moving forward while dealing with the loss of some of their coaches and teammates.
From an early age, figure skaters learn if they fall, they're gonna have to get back up.
We come to the ice every day to fall, to literally go, rotate, and jump in the air, to fall down, and to willingly get back up again and say, that was great, let's go do it again.
Resilience that tested U.S. figure skater Maxim Naumov in an unimaginable way.
It's hard to really put a finger on or describe the feelings that I have now.
At 23, Maxim is a top-ranked figure skater who grew up coached by his parents, 1994 pairs figure skating champions Evgenia Shishova and Vadim Naumov.
My parents were Olympians, and my parents were superheroes.
Superheroes that in a moment were gone.
We don't believe there are any survivors.
Among 67 people who lost their lives on Flight 5342 when it collided with an Army helicopter over Washington, D.C. That included 4 coaches and 11 teammates at the Skating Club of Boston, where Maxim could have stopped skating, but instead
I've been able to take certain parts of it at least and kind of use it as motivation and help me get through, the difficult parts of my days and my weeks.
As skaters do, Maxim picked himself up. And 2 months after losing his parents and friends, Maxim honored them by skating at the World's Figure Skating Championships.
Performing or competing, it's really in the day-to-days. Sometimes that's the only thing that's really holding me, to be honest. Like really holding me to continue to keep going forward.
Moving forward by carrying on his parents' legacy as director of Tomorrow's Champions, a youth skating program at the Skating Club of Boston, started by his parents.
All right, now we ready? 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's a program that my parents started about 5 years ago now when they actually built this rink. It's a program that takes kids from 4 to 7 and we go through a curriculum.
He's also putting everything into his routine, skating to his parents' favorite song, and 1 year after they died, getting bronze at the U.S. Nationals, earning a spot on the 2026 Olympic team.
We did it. We absolutely did it.
Doing something that some might think is impossible, but not Maxim.
Any task that you set in front of yourself or any goal that you set and you're able to achieve that goal, at first that goal might seem like impossible, but your definition of impossible changes every time you achieve something. So what does impossible really mean?
He's staying on the ice with the dream of competing at the Olympics.
They'd be right there with me, I know that, that's for a fact.
Skating by himself, but never alone.
Stepping foot onto that ice would be making all of my dreams come true, my parents' dreams come true.
And the club has now created the Always Champions Foundation to provide scholarships for skaters moving forward.
As a way to honor those that lost their lives in that plane crash. And also they're building a tribute wall, a permanent tribute wall to honor those lives. They have a temporary memorial that they've had for the past year, but they want something more permanent there.
Yeah, something important part of their legacy. Yeah, Matt, thank you. It is one of the most recognizable pieces of art in the world. We're talking about Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. It's available for all to see here in Milano. Atlanta's Cheryl Preheim gives us a tour.
Rush hour in Milan, even busier with Olympic tourists and teams visiting from all over the world. Parents rush kids to school through a crowd waiting to see an iconic painting. Everyone needs a ticket ahead of time. It sells out fast. Every day, 1,200 people experience history inside what was once a monastery. It's now a museum protecting and preserving what may be the most significant depiction of Jesus and his disciples. One priceless, fragile painting. There are rules, though, before anyone sees it. Once you're in the lobby, no more video. Cameras are watching you. Umbrellas must be covered so the added humidity doesn't damage the art. A series of doors help control the air. It's all to protect Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece, The Last Supper. It took him 4 years to paint. In the 528 years since, teams have worked to restore it as original paint peels from the plaster wall. This wall used to be part of a dining hall for the friars. Now it's one of the most significant murals and most photographed places in the world. Each group only gets 15 minutes to take it all in. One painting that brings 500,000 people to this Milan neighborhood every year.
We're in Milan, and 3 hours outside of town, you'll get to Venice. And if you go to Venice, it's likely you're going to want to take a ride on a gondola. Scott Swan and Steve Rhodes shows us how those iconic boats are made and also introduce us to the first female gondola boat builder.
Venice is unique. A special city. One kind of a city.
Venice is a city built on the water. Canals are the streets here.
Yeah, you cannot drive a car, of course.
Water taxis and huge water buses ferry cargo and crowds.
You can just hop on and hop off.
Every boat here has a job to do. But only one is treated like royalty.
I'm Andrea Baldi. I'm a president of Gondolas Driver of Venice. And now we are 440. 440 gondolas, because each gondola driver has a private boat.
They are our ambassador, you know.
This is the Bridge of Sighs, one of the most important bridges of the city.
In ancient Venice, the gondola was favored by the wealthy. It was the city's limousine, the gondolier, its chauffeur. Today, have you ever hit your head on a bridge?
Not for now.
Gondoliers like Andrea,
some friends did it, huh?
Act more like tour guides. But this is still a luxury ride in a boat that remains intentionally unchanged. What do you love about your gondola?
Oh, I love every centimeter.
Andrea's gondola, like every gondola floating through Venice, began in a place like this, a squero, or traditional Venetian boatyard.
Hello, my name is Francesco Stengel. I'm a gondola builder and I work in Squero Tramontin.
There are only 4 of these left in Venice. Francesco took over this boatyard a few years ago, along with another master shipwright.
Ciao, sono Silvia Scaramuzza.
Sylvia says she is the first and only woman building gondolas in Venice. Now, this craftsman and craftswoman are working to keep this centuries-old tradition afloat.
Ho sempre avuto la passione per le barche e per Venezia. Mio padre fa il falegname, quindi mi ha trasmesso la passione per il legno e questa è la mia naturale evoluzione, insomma, è quello che mi piace fare.
A single gondola will take months to complete. It is a functional, floating piece of art made for one owner.
Every gondola is different from another.
So it's personalized.
Personalized. So this gondola is just for me.
No visit here is complete without a gondola ride.
I know every corner of this city.
A once-in-a-lifetime glide through history thanks to a quiet partnership. Gondolier and builder, two sides of a tradition that has defined Venice for centuries.
This is the best thing you can have in a world.
Let's see what else is happening at the Games. The athletes, they're settled into the Olympic villages. The Milano village provides about 1,700 beds for the athletes. And after the Olympics and Paralympics, this very space is going to be converted. It's going to become a modern student housing complex. So there are two host cities for the Olympics and Paralympics. So organizers decided they'd have two mascots as well. Milo represents Milan, and Tina represents Cortina. Tina will be the face of the Games, born in the Italian mountains, but living in the city because Tina, she loves art and music. And what about the merch? Fans from all over the world are standing in line to buy merchandise. The Mega Store, which is the largest temporary store dedicated to the Winter Games, is up and running. It's 1,200 square meters of merchandise, collectibles, and clothing for all ages, and the store is going to remain open through the end of March. Some say it's like walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but for coffee lovers, it's a tour of one of the most interesting coffee shops in the world. We take you there, and you don't even need a golden ticket. On Beyond the Podium, next. Coffee definitely has a place at these Winter Games, and you know, Starbucks have got sites all around the world, but none like the facility that they built here in Milan. We knew we needed a Seattle reporter for this, so we sent Chris Egan to take a tour of what some call the Willy Wonka chocolate factory for coffee.
In historic Milan, Italy,
coming to this building is honestly an experience.
Oscar Quintana.
I'm Oscar Quintana. I'm master roaster here in Milan.
Is one of the few master roasters in all of Starbucks.
We are only 12 around the world in all Starbucks coffee company.
Who just happens to work in what many say is the best Starbucks on the planet.
Yeah, because honestly, this is the most beautiful Starbucks.
The Milan Starbucks Reserve Roastery opened in 2018 after years of work to transform the old Italian stock exchange and post office building
have some Guatemala beans
into a coffee shop like no other.
The facade is beautiful because before the first use of this building was as the stock exchange, then it was the post office, and now it's the roastery.
Inside, it's a feeling like Willy Wonka got into the coffee business.
This is the Willy Wonka coffee.
At the center is the dancing lady.
He reproduces every batch of green coffee that comes into the roast.
A 22-foot tall, first-of-its-kind coffee roaster that unfolds and rotates so people can see the beans being roasted. Before, those beans are pumped through tubes running high above the store so they can be used on the spot.
All the coffee that you can actually taste is coffee that gets roasted, packed, and delivered here in this roastery.
Or shipped out to other Starbucks stores. with this coffee shop shipping out
It's crazy.
a metric ton of coffee each and every day.
So we produce about a metric ton of coffee every day.
All inside this unique store, decorated in Italian marble from Tuscany and custom handcrafted tile floor, with a coffee bar where you can taste more than 100 coffee drinks,
The flavor of espresso.
including coffee roasted only in this store.
This is the only roastery, this is the only place that you can find this coffee. So it's a microblend because it's unique. We serve it only here.
All in the heart of the 2026 Winter Olympic host city,
For us, it's also an honor to be part of the city in that moment.
where Oscar says getting a cup of coffee is getting a gold medal experience like no other.
Everyone came together to just bring a beautiful Starbucks for our customers, but also for us.
They even have a bakery there with a wood-fired oven where they make the bread. Now, if you really want to get into it, they've got a coffee workshop, they've got coffee tours, and they have got a merch department unlike any other. Coming up on Beyond the Podium, this four-time Olympian wants to shock the world once again, just like she did in South Korea back in 2018. Why Jessie Diggins thinks she could have another gold medal draped around her neck. Let's talk about Jessie Diggins. She is a cross-country skier. She's from Minnesota. And boy, she became a global sensation after she won gold in 2018 in Pyeongchang. But she talked to our Alicia Lewis and she said, you know what? My proudest moment goes beyond the podium.
From the small town of Afton, Minnesota to the world stage, cross-country skiing superstar Jessie Diggins has made a career out of living in the moment, especially when she's back home where it all began.
I don't get to be in one place very often. I'm on the road all the time, so getting to be home and see my family and see my little sister and snuggle the dogs and go running in the park with my high school coach, that's really special.
She's a four-time Olympian and says she was on skis before she could walk. Growing up surrounded by Minnesota winters, Jessie fell in love with the snow early on. And by high school, it was clear she had something special.
It was really fun because my whole team was there and we were all cheering for each other.
Her drive and athleticism pushed her all the way to the U.S. ski team in 2011, turning her childhood passion into a professional career.
I just go do the best I can, and that's going to be enough because you can't control the actual outcome. You just control your effort. So I just try to stay loose and relaxed and honestly happy. Like, my game face is me smiling in the start gate because I'm excited to be here and I get to do this. And how cool is that? Like, that's pretty amazing.
And that joy shows with 3 Olympic medals, countless world championship podiums, and now the 2025 overall World Cup Crystal Globe winner. Jessie Diggins is officially the most decorated American cross-country skier in history. But her success, she says, isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental resilience.
Growing up, I remember seeing these Olympic athletes and just seeing them as like superhuman, like, oh my gosh, like they're perfect, they're flawless. You know, in order to win gold at the Olympics, you clearly need to have mastered every little area of your life. And that's not true.
In her book, Brave Enough, Jessie opens up about her struggle with an eating disorder. A story she now says is her proudest accomplishment to share.
The first time I wanted to tell my story, it was a really big, scary moment, and it's the thing that I am most proud of because winning the Olympics was very cool. I'm very proud of it. Don't worry, I am proud of it, but I'm most proud of the courage that it took for me to open up and tell my story.
For Jessie, none of it would have been possible without the people who stood beside her from the start.
You know, they say it takes a village, but like it takes the whole state, it takes the whole country, and I feel like those Olympic medals like belong to thousands of different people, and I hope they feel that too.
Diggins announced that this is going to be her last Olympics, and then she plans to be a public speaker. And no doubt she'll be talking a lot about her storied career. After the break, we wrap up this edition of Beyond the Podium, and we take a look at one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. Also, I'll tell you one of the best things I've seen so far at the Olympics. One of the most beautiful lakes in the world is just north of Milan. We're talking about Lake Como. Now, it doesn't have an official role here for the 2026 Olympics, but still it is a big tourist attraction in the summer and in the winter. Corey Miller from St. Louis gives us a tour.
The city of Milan might be in the spotlight during the 2026 Winter Olympics, but tour guide Alessandro Pini
I've been working for 25 years as a tour guide.
Says that just north of the city, in another spot, that even in a country full of beautiful places, stands out as one of the best.
If you have to set a love story anywhere in a beautiful setting around the world, it is Lake Como.
Lake Como is home to big-name celebrities.
Very important people and famous people.
And a lot of beauty.
George Clooney is among them, for sure. Gianni Versace had a beautiful villa there.
Located at the foot of the Alps, mountains rise from the water here. In a lake with a distinctive Y shape from ancient glaciers.
It's a very narrow lake. It has a Y shape upside down.
Even in the winter, this lake attracts thousands of tourists.
And the mountains coming straight out of the water, the beautiful colors, the beautiful villas.
And just happens to be Alessandro's hometown.
I grew up there. I'm from a tiny little village of 750 inhabitants.
And he says is one of the many amazing places to see in Italy.
I'm so lucky and I'm spoiled to be in Italy, surrounded by beauty wherever we go.
At every Games, it's a conversation. What's the hot item here? Something that you want to get for yourself, some merchandise for your family and friends. And one item that I saw really is one of the best things I've seen at the Games. It's made by Skims. It's this cool bag. It's this off-white puffy bag and it's embroidered. I think it'd be great to go to Pilates or yoga or kind of run around. And I talked to the people at Skims and I said, how much is that bag? I love that bag. And she said, we just made a limited amount. It's for athletes only, so it's priceless. Darn. We hope you enjoyed those stories and stay with us because we have many more to share with you over the days to come here on Beyond the Podium. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne-Marie Tiernan.
Beyond the Podium, sponsored by Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center.